Hello my friends, Raveen here. Today I would like to introduce a new Cleric subclass called the Tidekeeper Domain. A quick disclaimer, this is a personal project of mine created by me with the help of our great Raveen community, and I want to give a big shout out to Guile2033 who helped me a ton with this subclass and really made sure it is balanced as it is. With that being said, let's dive into the Tidekeeper Domain. This video will be divided into two parts. The first one is description, where I really want to give you a feel for this subclass, and the second part are the features themselves. So as you can see, you start as someone who is already quite powerful and influential. Because you act as a divine priest of a solitary island of your choice, it means that you already have some responsibilities at hand which you attend to. This is different from a lot of subclasses which give you space to start from the rock bottom, for example, the Rogue's Thief. Here, you really have to think about what is the purpose of your adventures and why did you leave your island, now especially when people there sort of depend on you. It probably has to be a bit more of a quote-unquote noble purpose, not just, well, I was kinda bored so I just went adventuring. Secondly, the higher status could reflect in your character's behavior. Maybe they are concerned about the well-being of others and don't want to make anyone worried, so they keep their problems to themselves. Or they really miss the lifestyle associated with being a divine priest on such an island, which will make their adventuring much more difficult. It is safe to assume that there will be some sort of pain when leaving their beloved island, so let's make their journey worth it. Alright, so I really hope you got a bit of a feel for this subclass, because now we are moving to the features. So the first feature is called Tidekeeper Spells, and as you can see it is obtained at level 3. In the new player's handbook all subclasses gain their first feature at 3rd level, so let's read it together. Your connection to the island and its people grants you access to powerful spells that reflect your role as their guardian. When you reach a cleric level specified in the Tidekeeper Domain spells table, you thereafter always have the listed spells prepared. So this feature provides us with some additional spells as it usually does. I aimed for it to be both powerful and flavorful. At 3rd level we get some 1st and 2nd level spells, some great and some more situational. I really hope you will find a cool use for Air Bubble in your campaign. And at 5th level we get 3rd level spells, one of which is Wall of Water, which I find really underrated by the way, and at 7th level we get 4th level spells, and at 9th level we get 5th level spells. Some standouts here, we get Conjure Elementals, which clerics usually don't have access to, but of course we only get to conjure the Water Elemental. So most clerics get some additional spells, so this is a spell list that is tailored for us. We get the total of 3 features at 3rd level, and the second one is called Clam of the Divines, and this is the main feature of this subclass. It can seem a bit intimidating to read at first, but don't worry, you will understand. Let's read it together now. You receive a sacred gift from the Divines, an enchanted clam shell imbued with the power to protect and avenge your people. Whenever you roll initiative, you can choose to activate the clam, no action required. For the next minute, whenever you restore hit points to a creature, the clam accumulates number of charges equal to the amount of hit points restored. The maximum number of charges it can hold is equal to 5 times your cleric level. While the clam is active, you can unleash its stored energy as an action at the point you choose within 120 feet of you. Each creature of your choice within a 30-foot radius centered on that point must make a Constitution saving throw. A target takes radiant damage equal to the number of charges accumulated on a failed save, or half as much on a successful one. After you release the accumulated energy, or when the duration ends, the clam's charges are reset to 0. The Clam of the Divines can also serve as your holy symbol. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your Wisdom modifier, minimum of once, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. As a symbol of your status, you receive this holy clam, which holds a lot of power within. Let's explain this feature step by step so that it is more understandable. So number 1. The combat starts and you roll your initiative. Do you want to activate your clam? You can do so your Wisdom modifier times per long rest. Step number 2. If you don't activate the clam, nothing happens and your use is not expanded. If you do activate it, the fun begins, because the clam is ready. So what does this mean for you? Number 3. For the next 1 minute, which means for the rest of combat most of the time, whenever you restore hit points to a creature, which can be you by the way, the clam gains that amount of charges up to a maximum of 5 times your cleric level, and this is important. So number 4. Let's say you are level 3 and your fighter takes 20 damage, and then, on your turn, you upcast Cure Wounds and roll amazingly. You restore 20 hit points back to the fighter. Since the clam is active, it gains that amount of charges, so that's 20, right? Well, since the maximum is 5 times your cleric level and you are level 3, the maximum number of charges the clam can accumulate is 15. Great, you are now on your maximum, and the clam has the full 15 charges. Number 5. Next turn comes by and you decide to use your fully charged clam. So as an action, you choose a point within 120 feet of you. Each creature of your choice within a 30-foot radius on that point must make a Constitution saving throw. If they fail, they take radiant damage equal to the number of charges the clam currently has, which is 15 now, because that is the maximum number of charges it can have, and if they succeed on the save, they take half of that instead, which is 7. Number 6. After clam is used, the number of charges resets to 0. That also happens when the duration ends. You can start healing again to deal more and more damage later. And so here are some notes I think you should know regarding this feature. The clam doesn't have to be fully charged for you to unleash its energy. That is your call when you do it. You can unleash the clam more than once within the 1 minute duration. Spells like Mass, Cure Wounds that heal multiple creatures can accumulate charges really fast, so you can use that to your advantage. And if the party doesn't heal out of combat, it can be really good for you actually. You can heal them up in combat and unleash your clam more easily that way. To summarize this feature, it provides you with a really amazing damage option even as a cleric and rewards you for strategic planning. Mastering the timings of when to heal and when to deal damage will make you really formidable in battle. Alright, so that was Clam of the Divines, and now it's time for the last 3rd level feature, and it is called Soothe and Search. And it is made to synergize well with your Clam of the Divines feature, so let's look at it. As a magic action, you present your holy symbol and expand the use of your channel divinity to release a swarm of divine aquatic spirits that linger in a 15-foot radius sphere centered on a point of your choice within 90 feet of you for 1 minute. Each creature of your choice in that area must succeed on a dexterity saving throw or take radiant damage equal to 1d8 plus your cleric level. Every other creature of your choice in the sphere regains hit points equal to 1d8 plus your cleric level. When a creature enters the sphere or ends its turn there, you might have it make the saving throw again, taking the damage on a failure. A creature takes this damage only once per turn. So this feature basically creates a sphere full of aquatic spirits. When they appear, they heal your allies, which of course can accumulate some charges for your clam. Your enemies in the sphere take some damage when you use the feature and when they enter the sphere, or when they end their turn there. The damage and healing are both just okay. The reason for that is that not only the spirits linger in the sphere for 1 minute, so it would be too strong if the damage was higher, but the possibility of taking damage is there during every turn of combat. Notice that enemies don't even take half damage when they succeed, they just take no damage. This is another aspect of balancing this feature, as it is very possible multiple creatures will be affected every turn. Lastly, the healing is decent and it is a one-time effect. Since it can heal your whole party at the time, it is crucial that the healing isn't too high, so that your clam isn't so easily chargeable and you don't suddenly become the top damage dealer. The scaling is nice and I think it is a very good way to use your channel divinity. And our level 6 feature is Keeper's Endurance, and it is quite simple actually. The ocean's strength and resilience flow through you, fortifying your body against the harsh elements. You gain resistance to cold and lightning damage. Additionally, whenever you finish a short rest, you regain 1 expanded use of your Clam of the Divines feature. So we get two resistances that are relevant to your subclass and are very good in my opinion. Those are not uncommon damage types. The second part of this feature, the one that says you regain one expanded use of your Climb of the Divines feature whenever you finish a short rest, just makes sure that your main feature is always ready. There might be adventuring days where there are just too many battles, and this should help you with your uptime. And the very last feature of this subclass is at level 17 and it is called Waves of Remedy. The soothing oceanic spirits infuse your healing magic, offering your allies both restoration and protection. Whenever you restore hit points to a creature, you can grant that creature resistance to cold and lightning damage for 1 minute. If your Climb of the Divines feature is active when you restore hit points and choose to use this feature, the climb accumulates 2 charges for every 1 hit point restored by that instance of healing. Once you grant a creature resistance using this feature, you can't do so again for the same creature until you finish a short or long rest. So this is a feature which you can use once per short or long rest per creature. The reason for that is that it is really quite powerful, as it should be at level 17, right? So to put it simply, whenever you restore hit points to a creature, you can choose to activate this feature. If you do so, 2 things happen. Number 1. The healed creature shares your resistances from the 6th level feature, resistance to cold and to lightning damage, and it is for 1 minute. Number 2. That instance of healing accumulates twice the charges for your climb, so if you restored 30 hit points to that creature when you use this feature, the climb accumulates 60 charges instead. The second part is the main reason for the short or long rest restriction, as it is very strong damage option when we combine it with our Climb of the Divines feature. And this is everything you need to know about the Tidekeeper domain. If you want to see this subclass for yourself, join us on Instagram, Discord or even Patreon to get that, plus many more benefits. Let me know if you would play as this cleric and which subclass you want to see next. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this video, and I'm looking forward to seeing you next time.